Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to episode 35 of Extreme Evocast, an all-purpose Pokemon podcast where we talk about news, trivia, and everything related to Pokemon. I hope you're all having a great night, great day, whenever you're listening to this. It's currently late for me, once again. I'm back on my back on my bad habit of recording Evocast late at night. It's just sort of how the day came to me. Wasn't really in the mood to record until later at night. Probably the best idea for my health and for production value would be to record earlier in the day. Of course, I do have to wait for the people living with me to go to sleep, so I don't get bothered, so they don't hear me talking to myself like a crazy person. So I do have to wait generally until a little bit later at night, but I got a little distracted. I actually fell asleep around the time where I was supposed to record Evocast. I was just laying down, relaxing, my back, and I fell asleep. That's not a big deal though. I'm cool with recording late at night. It's sort of okay because today's episode is a little bit, how should I say, lackluster by normal Evocast standards. Not necessarily in quality, but in content. Because, it's sort of what happens just with an unfortunate coincidence, or not coincidence, an unfortunate set of circumstances where I have a lot to talk about, and I don't want to cram it all into one big long episode because, last week's episode, or last episode was pretty long, by Evocast standards. It was an hour and 15 minutes. Normally episodes go for around an hour, give or take, maybe a little bit longer, a little bit less than an hour. But so 1 hour and 15 minutes isn't necessarily super long, but it does limit the amount of time that I can talk about things today. And I fear that if I crammed everything together into one episode, I would not have enough time to talk about everything. I would have to rush, and, also it's pretty late. So you'll have to forgive me for maybe not biding my time as well as I should have, but in the end of things, it really doesn't matter. This isn't a super professional podcast. I do what I want, what I feel is best for me, for my health, and for the quality of the podcast. So it's okay. No harm done. You'll just have to wait an extra 2 weeks for me to talk about the big thing that I have planned, which, of course, if you haven't guessed already, is by the title of the episode. Pretty sure last episode, I said that I would talk about Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Rescue Team DX, and I don't think I blatantly said that I would talk about it. I simply just said that if I finished it, I would talk about it. And I did finish it. I finished the main story. I did it on stream. It was very fun. But I still have a lot of post-game stuff to go through, and I am going to be streaming that as well. I was planning on talking about it after I had finished just the story, the game. And I was perfectly okay with just not talking about, not waiting to talk about it until I finished everything there is to talk about it. I didn't do that with Pokemon Sword and Shield. And that's not really the kind of formula that I want to go through when I talk about games. This isn't a super heavy review podcast. I just talk about things, and I think that going through the main story of Mystery Dungeon is enough to me, to warrant to talk about it. But I have some other things to talk about. We have quite a lot of news today, and episode 6 of Twilight Wings has come out, and Twilight Wings 6 is going to be the main sort of topic for today. So, if maybe you're not interested in Twilight Wings, maybe you could skip this episode, giving a little bit of a heads up so you're not bored, or you end up listening to something and you end up a little bit disappointed that it wasn't what you wanted. So, next week, most definitely, unless there's some crazy Pokemon news that comes out and we get a bunch of information about something that happens, I will most likely, I say most likely because I can't guarantee anything, be talking about Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX, and I'm very, very excited to do so. But you'll have to apologize. Yeah, you apologize for me not talking about something on my podcast. No, you'll have to forgive me. for not talking about Mystery Dungeon today, despite having already finished it. It's, like I said, due to time constraints. I don't want to crush everything into one episode because I would really like to I would very much like to spend a long time talking about Mystery Dungeon, and I need a little bit more time to sort of gather my thoughts and make a good sort of collective talk about this game, because like I just finished it. When did I finish it? Hold on, I can actually look this up right now. I forget what day I finished it. It's the 8th right now. Well, it's still it's technically the 8th, but it's after midnight. It was 6 days ago, so on the 2nd of July, I finished it. Or I suppose like 5 days ago, because I assume it's telling me 6 days ago because it's past midnight. It was like July 2nd, so it was not that long ago, and I still need a little bit more time to sort of collect my thoughts. I've been very busy recently, doing other stuff, and so like I said, you'll have to forgive me for not having it ready to talk about, but due to multiple factors, I'm just going to continue as normal. I spent way too long talking about why I didn't talk. I literally could have just said, I don't want to talk about it. No, you know me, over-explaining things. Anyway, let's get into the episode. Today's news is sort of a little bulkier than usual. I've been sort of slacking on the news recently, and I don't necessarily know if that's a good or a bad thing. Sort of depends on what you like to listen to when it comes to Pokemon content on Extreme Evocast. But I think I'm going to start talking more about the smaller updates for more obscure games, like Pokemon Rumble, Pokemon Cafe Mix, because Cafe Mix just came out and it's it's getting frequent updates. The one game that I don't really want to talk about, you'll have to forgive me for that, is Pokemon Masters. I am really not interested in that game. I apologize. I tried to write down things to say about it, but it's literally just hey, there's some new trainers you can talk to, and that's it. And you can get, I don't even know how Pokemon Masters works. I'm not gonna lie, I don't have it. I've never played it. I've never really looked into anything. The only sort of information that I've gotten from it is looking on Cerebi.net at the news and contemplating whether or not I want to talk about it. And I've decided that I'm not going to talk about it. So if you really, really enjoy Pokemon Masters, I'm sorry. This is not the place to listen to Pokemon Masters content. I don't play it, and honestly, I don't really have any interest in playing it. I don't know. I mean, I would probably like it, but for now, I'm not super interested. Anyway, going on that, the first bit of news is actually something that's pretty exciting. There was a shiny Zero Aura distribution because over 2 million Zero Aura were defeated in the Max Raid Battle event for the Isle of Armor, which they promised. They would say, hey, I think they said, hey, if you beat 1 million, we'll distribute a shiny Zero Aura to everybody. And that ended, by the way. It ended yesterday on the 6th. You can't get it anymore. So if you're listening to this episode, statistically, if you're listening to this episode, it is impossible for you to get the shiny Zero Aura for yourself. I'm sorry. Hopefully you got it. It was literally just like you do it through Pokemon Home. That's it. You have to have deposited a Pokemon in Pokemon Home from Sword and Shield since Wednesday, June 17th, and have up till July 6th to do so to register it, which is, of course, already passed. So yeah, shiny Zero Aura, very cool. I don't know if it has perfect IVs or anything. I haven't looked, but very cool. I'm glad that they distributed it. Shiny Zero Aura looks really cool. Zero Aura is just a really cool Pokemon in general. I'm very happy about that. I'd also like to talk a little bit more about the wild area, sort of changes that happen. I can't guarantee that I'm going to be super consistent with this stuff, by the way. Oh God, sorry. My voice just died for a second there. I can't promise that I'm actually going to talk about, everything. This sort of goes for all of the obscure games. If I miss a Pokemon Rumble Rush update, I'm sorry. But I'm going to try and talk about it as much as I can, given that I'm not already, pushed for time. If I have a lot to talk about, maybe next episode, I won't talk about some of the more obscure stuffs, but, so to sort of not to like milk out the time, but just to sort of extend the time for maybe a less content-filled episode, I think it's a good idea to give these games a little bit of a shout out. This is coming from Cerebi. It says, the Wild Area event has shifted in Pokemon Sword and Shield. With this, the 22 Gigantamax Pokemon have left the boosted raids, and with this, various Steel and Rock-type Pokemon have been added. At launch, this event is currently bugged as it's calling for an item that doesn't exist in the code, but a fix is expected soon. Oh my god, really? Hello? Interesting. Okay, apparently edit. The bug that afflicted the Max Raid Battle event is fixed and raids can now be completed without a crash. Jeez. I wasn't aware of this. That's crazy. Cool. So this is topical. There's some Pokemon Go stuff. I know I normally start out with the Pokemon Go stuff, but, it's sort of all over the place this time, so I'm not going to worry too much about the organization of it. Niantic has announced the spotlight hours for the month of July. They happen at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. local time and are as follows. July 7th, which is today, or yesterday, I suppose, if you want to be technical, was Tailo. July 14th is Zubat. July 21st is Oddish, and July 28th is Buizel. So if you're looking to get those Pokemon, there you go. Speaking of Pokemon Rumble Rush, excuse me, a new Battle Royale Cup has started. The cup is the Pheromosa Cup from today until July 8th. Ew. That's, the day this episode releases. If you're listening to this episode on the day it releases, and you want to do that, hurry up. And the run will run a special bonus, powering up fighting and bug-type moves. The cup includes new pieces of Pokeglam to earn. I don't know what that means because I never played Rumble Rush, but there you go. Cafe Mix, sort of a new addition to the news club, has some updates coming, which is exciting. First, special customer event has begun in Pokemon Cafe Mix from today, which is the 7th. Oh no, the 1st. Sorry, the 1st of July. I looked at the 7 and I thought it was the day. It was the month. So from July 1st to July 15th, Score Bunny will start to appear in the cafe as a customer. If you complete orders for it, you'll be able to recruit it to be a staff member. If you start building friendship before the event ends, you'll be able to invite it to a party and to still be able to recruit it. Alongside this, new regular orders have been added. Cool. I don't know what that means because I haven't played Cafe Mix yet. Eventually, I will play this game. Because it's the first one, I'm actually thinking of like starting the game so I can not miss out on these events because I wouldn't want to do that. But yeah, cool. Cafe Mix is getting, we sort of welcome Cafe Mix to the news category. I assume we're going to be hearing a lot about it in the next, who knows, special customers, new orders, stuff like that. Very exciting. Speaking of Cafe Mix, this is pretty interesting here. A special set of TikTok stickers have gone live in Japan based on Pokemon Cafe Mix. This will add various imagery of the offerings from Pokemon Cafe Mix, as well as imagery of the Pokemon and puzzles from the game. Who knew that Pokemon would be teaming up with TikTok? Not something I expected to hear, but hey, TikTok. I don't think you need me to tell you. It's TikTok. It's interesting. I'll say that much. But yeah, cool. Some Cafe Mix stuff going on with TikTok. That's exciting. There is a big event coming to Pokemon Go very soon. Speaking of Pokemon Go, July 19th has been announced as the next Pokemon Go Community Day and will be ghastly. So, screw my predictions, for the order they were going, first, the pattern that I discussed so much about. Apparently now I guess they're going back to Kanto Pokemon. It was what, Weedle last time? Is that right? I already forget. I think it was Weedle last time, and now I suppose they're going into Ghastly. So I don't know if there's like a new pattern emerging. I sound like a conspiracy theorist, what's the pattern in the Pokemon? I assume they're just doing more Kanto Pokemon, I guess. which is exciting. Maybe they'll go through some of the more obscure Pokemon from Kanto, and then they'll go into Johto, and then Hoenn, and, until a next generation is released, I assume. I probably should have predicted that, had an idea that that's something they would do, just go back and do some more obscure Pokemon. But cool. I guess that's what they're going to be doing, like Weedle, and Ghastly. So during this event, you will get a Gengar knowing Shadow Punch. There will be a special research ticket to get a research the Great Ghastly, costing $1. Finally, there'll be a Community Day box featuring 30 Ultra Balls, an Elite Fast TM, 2 Incense, and 2 Incubators. I like the Great Gatsby reference. The Great Ghastly. Funny. Haha. How silly. Pokemon, or Niantic, I suppose. I'm sure Niantic, deals with that. That's funny. Cool. So yeah, next Community Day is Haunter, or Ghastly. Anyway, on to the actual big Pokemon Go news. There's some stuff going on with flying type Pokemon. Let me just find it real quick. I swear to God, I try to organize my notes as best as I possibly can, but I always end up losing everything. Let's see. The last thing I talked about was Cafe Mix on TikTok. Let's see if it's anywhere near that. I don't even remember where that is. There it is. Let's see. Here we go. I found it. So, first, starting off, Niantic has announced that Pokemon Go Fest is going virtual. There was a little trailer, a little video, that Niantic released, or I guess the official Pokemon, channel, released, saying that, Pokemon Go Fest is going virtual. So it seems like Pokemon Go Fest 2020, will be over. It won't be in physical space, which is obviously a good idea. You don't need me to tell you why that is a good idea. But alongside that, let's see. It says the first Pokemon Go Fest weekly challenge event and the Pokemon Go 4th anniversary event has begun in the Asia Pacific regions. This event runs from July 3rd to July 8th. That's if you're listening to this, that's today. On the day it's released, obviously. It features a flying Pikachu, increased spawns of flying type Pokemon, and a party hat Pokemon returning. It also adds Shiny Pidove to the game and adds Ducklet and Swanna. This event also has some timed research that can unlock some Go Fest spawns. We're currently collating all the details of this event, so be sure to keep checking into our section. Not me, that was Cerebi talking. Mr. Cerebi, of course, the one person who runs Cerebi.net. No. But yeah, that was a message from Cerebi. So if you want to learn more, Cerebi has much more information than I do. And yeah, Pokemon Go, 4th anniversary. That's very exciting. It really happened in July? I guess that makes sense because it was during the summer, huh? Interesting. Well, Flying Pikachu. What does the Flying Pikachu look like? Let me see this. Is it just flying? Or does it have, like, balloons? Probably has balloons, huh? Oh, it does have balloons. Oh, that is adorable. I'm looking at it right now. It's just a Pikachu with balloons tied to its back. That's so cute. Wow. Well, it's a reference to the Flying Pikachu card. That's so cute. Well, that's fun. Yeah. The Pokemon Go 4th anniversary is happening, is currently happening right now, and ends the day this episode releases. So Jesus Christ, if you haven't taken part in that yet, go do that. Like I say, pretty much every episode, I am not able to take part because of my living situation, unfortunately. But hopefully, when I go back to college, who knows when, I'll be able to take part in Pokemon Go, and hopefully, I can talk about it with a little bit more personal experience. Shiny Pidove. It added Ducklet and Swanna, which apparently weren't in the game before. I think I saw a friend talking about that, actually. So that's exciting. Cool. Lots of big Pokemon Go events happening soon, with the Community Day coming up, the 4th anniversary, and this Flying Pikachu event. Last thing on the radar for Pokemon Go, I promise. Pokemon Go has an event coming soon. But is available to you early if you are level 40. Of course, Niantic loves to spoil the people who spend the most time in their game. I guess that's the best market strategy, huh? It says, Niantic has announced a new feature for Pokemon Go. This feature focuses on Team Go Rocket and implements the Rocket Balloon into the game. With this, you can now encounter Team Go Rocket via balloons if you are level 40. As you play a game, occasionally a Team Go rocket balloon will lower down above you. Tap it, and you get a battle with Team Go rocket grunts and leaders, including Giovanni. We've added full details to our Team Go rocket section. Oh, the Pokemon Go team. Oh my God, the Pokemon Go Team Go rocket balloon. That is a mouthful and a half. Feature has now started to roll out for players level 35 and above. And a Team Go rocket cap is now available to purchase from Pokemon Go for 150 Pokecoins. And with that, that is the last of the Pokemon Go information. That actually released today. Well, the day of recording, so the 7th. So this is completely new information, and it's exciting. Let's see. You got a little bit more stuff about Cafe Mix. I know this news has been going for a long time. Like I said, I'm not opposed to it because don't really have a lot of things to talk about today. But Lucario is being added to Pokemon Cafe Mix. You can sorry, for sort of jumbling this around. I talked about Cafe Mix earlier. I'm sort of going in chronological order. Like the Lucario being released happened on the 6th. And, the Score Bunny being released on the 1st. So the times, the chronological times are a little mismatched. And the way that I do my notes is, I scroll through the most recent news, and I talk about that. Or I talk about the oldest, the oldest news in chronological order first, and then I go up to more recent things. Lucario is being added to Pokemon Cafe Mix. Says it has been confirmed there will be brand new order stages added to Pokemon Cafe Mix this Wednesday, which is the 8th, day of release for this episode. And alongside this, Lucario will be added to the game. It's currently unclear how many new stages will be added, but we'll detail them in full as they're released, so be sure to check back. You heard them, folks. Be sure to check back to Cerebi if you want, information that isn't 2 weeks late. Maybe I'll talk about it next week. Or next episode, but I can't guarantee anything. So if you're super interested in that, be sure to check back into Cerebi. Of course, I am very thankful for Cerebi's information because it's where I get most of, if not like all 99% of my content for this podcast. At least the news part, the most recent information. Like, I worry a little bit that it's sort of just like, oh, I'm just reading off of Cerebi, but honestly, it's the most credible source of information that I could find. I think it would be a lot more difficult for me to sort of compile everything if I didn't have Cerebi. So once again, thank you again to Cerebi, if anybody from Cerebi is listening to this, for providing most of the information on my podcast. I don't think this podcast would be able to function nearly as well as it is now without this sort of archive of information. So I'm very appreciative of it. Finally, okay, so I think I made a mistake last time. I can't remember. I can't be asked to go through and listen to the episode. I think I called the TCG pack release just Legendary, like TCG Legendary. I don't remember. Because they released it. It came out, or it's coming out. July 10th, and they released most of the cards that are being released in the pack. And when I talked about it, I called it just Legendary, and now it's saying that it's called Legendary Beat, which, if my memory serves me right, I don't remember saying that. So the TCG pack is called Legendary Beat, and it's coming out on Legendary on July 10th, 2020. It features a variety of legendary Pokemon, including a new style of card known as Amazing Rares, which have big effects but with strong energy costs. And if you're interested, you can again go to Cerebi, look at their card decks, and it has been updated with full details of the new Legendary Beat TCG. And that is going to do it for the news for today. And before we get into the main topic, which is Twilight Wings 6, let's move on to everybody's favorite segment where we talk about a random Pokemon every episode. Random Pokemon of the week. I almost said Move Tutor. Random Pokemon of the week. And today's random Pokemon is number 388. If you can guess what that is, I applaud you. Actually, that might not actually be too hard, given that it is I'm not going to spoil it. If you want to take a second and sort of pause the podcast and you want to think about what Pokemon this is, I implore you to do so, because it might actually not be as hard as I think it is. Number 388 is Grotle. The middle stage of the Torterra line, or Turtwig line, I suppose. The reason why I said it might be easy is because some people know, there was 386 Pokemon released in Hoenn, so 388 would be the second Pokemon released in Sinnoh, which is Grotle, because Turtwig is first. Let's see. Grotle is a Grass-type Pokemon introduced in Generation 4. It evolves from Turtwig starting at level 18 and evolves into Torterra starting at level 32. Grotle is the Grove Pokemon. It is Grass-type, like I said. It has the abilities Overgrow and Shell Armor as its hidden ability. And like all starters, it has an 87.5% male, 12.5% female ratio. It is 3'7", or 1.1 meters. Wow, that's a lot taller than I thought. I guess, actually, no, that's, that is like almost exactly what I imagined it being. How tall is Torterra? I guess I shouldn't be looking. 7 feet tall? I guess that's because of the huge tree on its back, but Jesus. Anyway. 3'7", 1.1 meters, 213.8 pounds, or 97 flat kilograms. Grotle is an interesting Pokemon because I can't remember if I've done a discussion about middle stages before. Obviously, I assume it's gonna happen every time. Every time I talk about a middle stage starter evolution, which by statistics, isn't going to happen for too long if I end up going through them all. Grotle, I don't really know what to say. Grotle is, I really, really enjoy Torterra. Torterra is, honestly, I would say that the Turtwig line is my favorite in Generation 4. Out of all the starters, I really enjoy Turtwig. I really enjoy Torterra, but Grotle, it's cool. It looks like a chia pet, it's got like the it's got like the shielded face. Grotle is the exact definition of a middle stage Pokemon. It looks like a middle stage Pokemon. It's, it looks like grass type Heatran. I don't really know what else to say. It's quite it's the middle stage Pokemon that doesn't really look like either of the other two evolutions. Torterra itself actually does not really look too much like Turtwig and Torterra, or Turtwig and Grotle. Turtwig has the very bright green and bright green full body with yellow mouth and yellow feet. And Grotle sort of continues this with having a little bit of a darker yellow shell, a mouthpiece and feet, and of course it gets the big bushes on the back. But Torterra has no yellow on it whatsoever. It's replaced with brown, which is present on Grotle and Turtwig, but not as much as Torterra. And Torterra looks very, very different, which I suppose is not rare for final stage evolution Pokemon, for them to not really necessarily look like their first and second stages, but come on. Torterra looks way different than the other two. Maybe I'm just crazy. But this episode is not about Torterra. This episode is about Grotle. Is there any trivia about Grotle? Oh, okay. Grotle is the heaviest of the second stage starter Pokemon, at 213 pounds, being heavier than many other fully evolved starter Pokemon. Wow. Grotle is the only second stage Sinnoh starter Pokemon to evolve at level 32. Monferno and Prinplup both evolve at level 36. Why? What? Really? Why does Grotle evolve at level 32 and Monferno and Prinplup evolve at level 36? Does Turtwig evolve later than everyone else? Hold on, let me look. It probably says it on Turtwig's trivia. No? Hold on. I need to look this up now. Does Chimchar... Because Turtwig evolves at level 18, which is a little bit... If I remember correctly, it's a little bit later than most starters, which evolve at level 16. does Chimchar evolve at 14? Chimchar evolves at level 14? What is this distribution of evolutions? Piplup? What about you, Piplup? Level 16. So theoretically, Chimchar evolves at level 14, Piplup evolves at level 16, and Turtwig evolves at level 18. And that makes sense for Turtwig to evolve at level 38 or level 32 because it evolves later. You know, it evolves later than 2 later than Piplup and 4 later than Chimchar. Which would make sense if Piplup and Chimchar didn't both evolve at the same level. Piplup, this is racking my brain. Chimchar should evolve at level 38 because it evolves the earliest. So in that sense, it should evolve the latest, right? Do you see what I'm getting here? Piplup evolves at level 16 and then 36, which is normal. And then Turtwig evolves later, but earlier to its final, later to its middle, and then later or earlier to its final. So why doesn't Chimchar evolve? Why doesn't Monferno evolve at level 36? What is the point? Why does Pip? Is that a mistake? Why does Turtwig? Like, all 3 of the starters evolve at different levels, and then their second stages should also sort of go in correlation with that, but they don't. What the heck, Nintendo? What are you doing to me? You're gonna drive me. Nintendo is gonna drive me crazy. Pokemon is gonna drive me crazy, and I blame them for doing this. Why? This is gonna hurt me. This hurts me on a personal level. Why would they do this? What is the point? I don't understand. It's like I get the pattern that they're trying to go for, but they did it wrong. I'm pretty sure other starters do that. Hold on. Call me crazy here. We're going to go into this. What level does Oshawott evolve at? Okay, let's see. Oshawott evolves at level 17 and evolves at level 36. Oh, don't tell me Unova does it too. What is this? Okay, what about Tepig? 17. Okay. They good. Unova fixed it. Does Snivy also evolve at 17? They do. Oh, they all evolve at the same level. Thank God. I was going to say, Unova, you can't turn me dirty like this. What about Hotland? What about Mudkip? What level does Mudkip evolve at? 16 and evolves into Swampert at level 36. Okay. That's normal. What about Torchic? This is driving me crazy. 16, 36. Good. What? Who? Trico. Oh. Did I spell Trico wrong? Is it with a C? I think it's with a C. Yeah, because it's Gecko. Trico. Okay. 16. Okay. Gen 3 didn't do it. And they didn't do it in Unova. I'm going to keep looking at this. What about Fennekin? 16 and 36. Good. Fennekin wouldn't do me dirty like that. What about Chespin? 16 and 36. Okay, it seems like... Is Generation 4 the only one that did that? This is blowing my mind. What about Gen 2? 14... Okay, hold on a minute. Cyndaquil evolves at level 14. And Quilava evolves at level 36. What about Totodile? You can't do me dirty like this. 18? And then evolves into Feraligatr at level 30. What? Hold on a minute. As long as they do it correctly, I don't care. But if they're gonna mess up, this means nothing. Okay, so let's think about it this way. Cyndaquil evolves into level 14. It evolves earlier, and it evolves at level 36, which compared to Totodile is later, because it evolves into Crocodile at level 18, which is the latest, I assume. 4 higher than Cyndaquil, but evolves 6 earlier than Quilava at level 30. What about my girl Chikorita? Chikorita? Level 16, level 32. Okay, that... You know, realistically, Cyndaquil should evolve at level 34. Because if it's 30, and then 32, and then 36, which is a little bit weird. But it's a little bit more excusable. You know, Totodile evolves later, but evolves earlier. Like Turtwig should. Cyndaquil evolves earlier, but evolves earlier into its middle, and then later into its final, and Chikorita evolves middle and middle. That makes sense. But they messed up in Gen 4. This is going to drive me insane. I hate this. It's a little messed up with Gen 2. Gen 2's not perfect either. Dare I look at Gen 1? God. I think it's customary that I should. Hold on. I'm sorry about this. Okay, Charmander evolves at level 16 and then 36. It's probably just 16 and 36. So, like, they changed up the formula. Yeah, Squirtle's the same, and I assume Bulbasaur is also the same. They changed up the formula for Gen 2, and they were like, oh, we shouldn't do that again in Gen 3. And then in Gen 4, they're like, all right, let's try that again, and they messed up again. Whoa. Hold. Are you kidding me? Hold on a second. You want to run that by me again? Bulbasaur, Squirtle evolves at level 16 and then evolves at level 36. Charmander evolves at level 16 and then at level 36. Bulbasaur evolves at level 16 and then evolves into Venusaur at level 32. It's just like Turtwig. No, it's not like Turtwig. It's different. Why? I hate this. Why can't they make them the same? They did it for Gen... Okay. They fixed it in Gen 3. Gen 3 would not do me dirty like that. They did something a little bit weird in Gen 1, and then they went out of the box in Gen 2 and did it wrong. Gen 3, they fixed it and made all of them the same. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And then Gen 4, they just messed up again. Gen 5, they fixed it. Gen 6, they fixed it. Dare I look at Gen 7? I'm gonna continue this. I'm sorry. Uh-oh. Poplio. Oh, what is this? Poplio. What is this? Rowlet. Oh, never mind. I think we're okay. Yup, okay, Gen 7 is safe. They all evolve at level 17 and then at level 34. Good, Gen 7 is safe. Now what about Gen 8? Last one, I promise. Scorbunny, 16 and then 35. Why? Why can't they just keep it consistent? What is the point? Why can't they keep it consistent? Okay, it's consistent for Sobble. And for Scorbunny. Okay. What? Okay, yeah, it's consistent for all three, but they evolve one level earlier in their late states. They evolve at level 35. They evolve at level 16 and then at level 35. Why not 36? What is the point? Why do they keep changing it? This is going to drive me insane. I can't believe my eyes. What is the point of making these Pokemon evolve at different levels every generation? The starters should evolve all... I get it, but Like, I get it if it was a little different. Like, if they changed it from, 16 and 36 to, 20 and 40. But they're changing it by, one number every time. Like, okay, this Pokemon evolves at level 16. All of the starters evolve at level 16. And then all of their final evolutions evolve at level 36. Okay, that makes sense. And next generation, it's 16 and 35. What is the point? Anyway... That was way too long for that. I encounter things on Evocast like the green tinted Unpheasant or the green tinted Tranquil. This is just another green tinted Tranquil situation. I can't believe I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what to say. It just doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, let's move on. Let's keep looking through Grottle. Oh boy. When Grottle evolves into Torterra, all of its stats increase by 20 points. Cool. I guess. This is soiled Grottle for me now. Not really, but come on. I'm not going to be able to stop thinking about that. Anyway, let's look at Grottle's base stats, because, surprise, surprise, we're not going to be talking about Grottle in a competitive format, because it is a middle evolution Pokemon. Grottle has acorns? In the anime, Grottle is seen to produce acorn-like nuts instead. Oh, wait. Oh. Grottle lives in forests but leaves during the day to allow sunlight on its trees. Berries grow on the trees, attracting some species of Pokemon. In the anime, Grottle is seen to produce acorn-like nuts instead. Oh, very nice. That's interesting. That's an interesting little tidbit. I like that. Hold on, base stats. HP is 75, attack is 89. What a weird number. Defense is 85, special attack is 55, special defense is 65, and speed is 36. What a weird Pokemon. Why do they have such weird stats, weird quirks about them? I just don't get it. I'm noticing everything with this Pokemon. Oh, Grottle was my enemy. Anyway, let's look at its shiny. I was gonna make some quip about like, oh, Grottle, oh no, another surprising thing about Grottle is shiny sucks, but it's actually not that bad. It's actually kind of cool. It gets like its bushes stay the same, which I suppose makes sense because, you know, just because a Pokemon's skin color changes doesn't mean the grass growing out of it necessarily would change. Its orange feet and tail and mouthpiece turn into like a teal, like a bright green blue, which is really cool looking in contrast with its main color, which is changed from a light green to a yellow. It's very cool. I'm not gonna lie, I actually really enjoy this Pokemon shiny. It doesn't make any sense, but it looks cool. It looks cool as hell. I wish I did that treatment with Torterra. Torterra shiny, it looks bad. I mean, I'll get to that in a later episode when we eventually talk about Torterra. But like, Grottle shiny's just cool. What about Turtwig? Yeah, Turtwig is like, okay, Turtwig is the same as Grottle. A little bit less so. Turtwig is a little more dulled down because of the brown it has on its shell. But like, Grottle's just cool. I really enjoy this shiny. I'm going to give this shiny... It doesn't look any different in its in the 3D forms. Something that's good. Something that's acceptable. So I can't give it like an average score. So I'm just gonna give it a flat 8. 8 out of 10 for Grottle. It's good. It's not great. It doesn't really make any sense. But it's cool. I like it. I think it's pretty darn. It's unique. That's for sure. Very interesting. All right. Well, sweet. There's Grottle for you. Anyway, moving on to the last little bit of information we have today, I'm going to talk about Twilight Wings Episode 6. Twilight Wings Episode 6 was titled Moonlight, I think. I'm not even going to get into it. Yada yada, I say it every single episode. Every single time I talk about Twilight Wings, I'm going to avoid it this time. It's beautiful as always, and I wish the Pokemon anime looked like this. You will hear me say that. You have heard me say that for every single episode of Twilight Wings, and you will hear me say that for every episode of Twilight Wings after this. So I'm just going to say it right now. My stance on that has not changed with this episode. It is beautiful as always. It's not beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I wish the anime was like this. You know, you've heard it before. You've heard me clown around before with this statement. And my stance on it has not changed. Anyway, let's get into the meat of today's episode, or today's Twilight Wings. First things first, this episode is about Alistair, which is cool to me because I have Sword. I don't own Shield, so I fought B in my Sword in my playthrough, like all 3 of my playthroughs or 2 of my playthroughs that I've done, I fought B. And I never got to experience Alistair, like, ever. Because, I don't have Sword. I don't have Shield. So it was cool to see Alistair sort of personified, because I don't really know anything about him. I don't know much about Alistair, other than I know he's the Ghost-type gym leader, and I know he's creepy. That's it. That's all I know about Alistair. And seeing his personality in this episode was a good treat to me. because like I said, I've never seen him before. So though I will say they didn't really go too much into his personality or his character, other than the fact that he is a scaredy cat. I wouldn't say he's a scaredy cat because he has like a full team of ghosts around him at all times. In the episode, he has like a Gengar, a Haunter, and a Ghastly, like his like posse around him all times. So obviously he's not scared of ghosts, but he's scared of physical contact with other people. Like when the kid who approaches Alistair in the story. This is obviously going to include spoilers, by the way. So if you haven't seen the newest episode of Pokemon Twilight Wings, I would recommend you go watch it before listening to this episode, or this part, I guess, of this episode. So spoiler alert has ended. I'm talking about the episode now. The main kid, or the kid that we see in the hospital in the very first few episodes, which, by the way, I'm glad they're continuing this story. I was wondering when they were going to sort of go with this story again. The kid who we saw in the very first episode, John, the blonde kid who wanted to be a Pokemon trainer, but the kid argued with him and was like, "Oh, you're never getting out of the hospital. Like don't believe in you should give up." And it was mean. I mean, I'm gonna be the first one to say it was mean, and he feels bad about it. So he went to Alistair. He was like, "Hey, you're a gym leader. I was wondering if you could help me. Sort of, go apologize to him, and also if you could help me sort of talk to Rose, I guess, or Leon about joining the league as a trainer, and stuff like that." And eventually, Alistair helps this child, this celebrity, this gym leader helps a literal child break into a hospital, which I think is a hilarious story and is obviously out there, because, a gym leader helps a child break into a hospital, which I think is both hilarious and also just weird. Well, it makes sense in the context of the story, but I just think it's funny. And the kid apologizes to John. He says like, "Oh, we're going to be, you can be a good Pokemon trainer. I'm sorry for not telling you." And then he's like, "Let's be the best Pokemon trainers that we could be." And it was all emotional and happy. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the whole story. And, John forgave him, and, it ended with a little shot of, Normally Twilight Wings episodes end with like a shot of like concept art or like a heavily painted scene from the episode. I assume is like concept art or like production art. It's sort of like a, hey, this is what we want. This is what we envision for the episode, or maybe it's created for the episode. I'm not sure. But this time it was replaced with a little snippet of Rose giving Leon the letter from John, which is exciting. And we also got to hear a little snippet of Leon's voice, which is very nice. It's very good. I mean, it fits him. It's I don't really know how to explain it. But we got to hear Leon's voice. It's cool. All the voice acting in this anime series is very good. I really, like I've said before, I really enjoy the sort of voices they give. Alistair's was cool. It was like he sounded very young. I'm not sure actually how young Alistair is. I assume he's not. Thinking about it like this, he might actually be a child. He's not like a child, but like he obviously young. So maybe saying like, local celebrity helps child break into hospital should more be local child celebrity helps child break into a hospital. But still, I think that's still hilarious. There's not really much else to say. I like the setting that it was in. It was pretty much all at nighttime, which of course is beautiful. And the one thing that I noted is that the ghost type Pokemon sort of like, like Pokemon has sort of a hard time showing off these ghost type Pokemon is actually scary. But like seeing them like wander around in the graveyard at night around this literal kid was pretty scary. And the thought of like going into a graveyard at night with all these ghost type Pokemon, I didn't really think about it all that much before. I think I would be scared. Like seeing it in action in like this anime that's sort of supposed to be more realistic or supposed to be more has a little bit more blatantness when it comes to the lore and comes to the world that Pokemon is in, is scary. I mean, it was interesting. It was a scary thought. Another thing sort of related to that, I saw a thing on Twitter where when the Corviknight dude, who is in every episode, because it's called Twilight Wings, it's referring to the Corviknight dude, who's I think has been in every episode. If not, it's like centered around that sort of gimmick. I like it. When the Corviknight taxi dude is waiting outside the hospital, there is a Lampent. There's a Lampent waiting out there for him, or there's a Lampent waiting around him. And someone on Twitter, I forget who it is, I apologize, I can't recall who it was, said that, like, Lampent's Pokedex entry says, like, it waits outside hospitals for children or people to pass on so it can, like, take their souls. And it's like, oh my god, Pokemon, no. They knew what they were doing when they put that Lampent there, I guarantee it. And it was a little tidbit of, trivia, I suppose, an interesting little background thing that not a lot of people, I think, noticed, and it's very funny. I see you, Pokemon. Really, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word, but they're really, they know their Pokedex entries. And Lampent being outside the hospital, I mean, that makes sense, and it's creepy. They did a good job with the creep factor in this episode, I think, which is something that we haven't really seen much from this series, and I very much like it. Overall, it was a good episode, not nearly as, like, awe-inspiring or inspirational as maybe some of the other episodes where I think, like, Bees and Nessa's were very, very inspirational and, like, heartfelt to me. This one just sort of felt like story progression. It was cute, obviously. He went to apologize, and Alistair helped him break into the hospital so he could apologize to his friend, and, we actually saw Leon opening the letter at the very end. It was certainly heartfelt, but it didn't really bring it out in me as much as some of the other ones. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't a good episode. I very much enjoyed it, and if, like I said, if you haven't watched it yet, and you're still interested in watching it, I would recommend that you do so. And I'm excited to see what else there is from Twilight Wings. Every episode I say that I'm super excited for the next one to come out, and that still holds true. Very great episode, good story. I was excited for the story progression with the kid and the letter to Leon, and I'm excited to see. It seems like they're really kind of hunkering down and doing that, because like I said, instead of like the concept art at the end, it was like a little teaser and maybe hopefully what's next to come, with Leon opening the letter and stuff, and hopefully they continue the story, because it's actually kind of interesting, or I think it's really interesting, and I'm excited to see what they do next, of course, as always. So yeah, anyway, before we end the episode here, I would like to briefly talk about the last segment for today, everyone's favorite segment, where we talk about a random move every episode. The one that I almost mistakenly called Random Pokemon of the Week earlier, Move Tutor. Today's move is number 691, if I remember correctly. Essentially how I do this is I randomize a number between 1 and 742, which I believe right now is how many moves there are in the game. You know what? Something I just realized. That's probably pretty outdated. They've probably added a lot more moves. I've been doing 742 because that's how much there was when I first started doing Move Tutor. There's way more. Oh no, hold on, is there? There's way more. Okay, so they added a bunch more, so I need to start updating that. There's 818 now, so I'm losing out on like the top 50 moves. So I certainly need to I certainly need to get that going. So I apologize. It's all of the because 742 is how many moves there were at the end of Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and then 743 and onward is Generation 8. So hopefully, maybe by statistics, I can't promise anything, obviously, but maybe next episode of Move Tutor will feature one of the moves from Generation 8. But anyway, number 691 is Clanging Scales. Clanging Scales is a damage-dealing Dragon-type move introduced in Generation 7. It is one of the signature moves of Kommo-o. one of the signature moves of Kommo-o? Does Kommo-o have more signature moves? Oh, it's probably the Z move. It could be upgraded to the special Z move Clangorous Soul Blaze by Kommo-o, holding Commonium Z in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Clanging Scales inflicts damage and reduces the user's defense by 1 stage. Pokemon with the ability Soundproof are not affected by this move. Oops, I clicked off the page. It has a PP of 5, it is a special move, has a power of 110, and an accuracy of 100%. And it says, the user rubs the scales on its entire body and makes a huge noise to attack the opposing Pokemon. The user's defense stat goes down 1 after the attack. That's like literally it. Because, I would talk about Clangorous Soul Blaze, but that is a separate move in its own, technically. So I will have to talk about Clangorous Soul Blaze another time. But when it comes to Clanging Scales, that's it. It is learned by Kommo-o at level 1, or upon evolution. It learns Clanging Scales. So a cool, signature move for Kommo-o. I really like Kommo-o. I think it's a cool Pokemon and has a equally as cool signature move. Anyway, I think that will be it for today. I said it was going to be sort of a shorter episode, but I'm very, very glad that I didn't end up talking about Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, because it's already an hour in the episode, or the episode is like almost an hour long, and I would have to go for even longer to talk about Mystery Dungeon. So I can't promise anything, of course, but I will try my hardest to talk about Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX next episode. As long as something else doesn't come out and takes the spotlight away from it, I will be talking about that next time. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed today's episode. Thank you so much for listening, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!